Hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I have to show you something funny before we get started with the coaching. Get excited. Oh, no, he stopped now. Anyways, look at my cat. Like, what? He found a bag and decided that that is where he lives now. He decided to pop himself into my food bag. And he was sleeping there for the last little bit. I thought it was funny. Good morning, Jessica. Susie's here. Perfect. I'm going to bring her on in a few minutes. Good day. Good day. Let me see if I can. There, let's see. Yeah, his one paw's in there right now, but his whole head was in there previously. It was pretty funny. Elizabeth, good morning. Good morning, everybody. There you go. Good morning, sleepy eyes. That's good. I'm glad you're awake this morning, Kelly. Kelly is Kate and Kate is Kelly. She is 2 in 1. Hello, Jessica. Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to be doing a live with Miss Susie, live coaching, where she has asked some questions about marketing, some questions about, thank you, I designed it. I'm waiting for my print company to get their shit together so I can actually start selling the sports bras and the t-shirts and the tank tops and good stuff. Like, I have the one shop, but there's this other one that does stuff like this, and it's like much better, I think, for this kind of stuff. So hopefully, I was going to check today, they might be up. So before we get on with the show, I did just want to pop on and talk about a few things that have been added to the courses and workshops. So I'm just going to bring it up here. Let me get on my website. So the first thing is that we have added, I had Beth. Kelly, I made a sports bra and sweatpants set, and they have like bodies, and it says delightfully chubby all over it, and I love it so much. So I'm gonna turn this bitch around. Hold up. Come on. So this is our new ebook. It's getting started with the art and business of boudoir, and it's basically a checklist and resource guide to send you to all the links. So I had Beth Olson do it, and she is amazing. But basically, it's a downloadable ebook that has questions as well to help you kind of hone in on what your kind of your style and things that you end up liking. But the cool thing about the ebook is that it's not so much like, here's how to do the things, here's how to find the things. So there's links to everything you ever need to know about running a boudoir business. A lot of, like for myself, I'm just very much the kind of go by the seat of your pants kind of person, but I understand that that's not the case for a lot of people. So I wanted to create some sort of resource that was like a checklist. So you knew as you were going along in your business, like, did I do this thing? Yes. Okay, now what's next? To kind of make the process of running the business a bit more fun, if that makes sense. So, so it's basically a little ebook. It's not super spendy, but it might be beneficial to help you go through and have links to different courses that I offer, but also that other people offer that I don't specialize in. Different websites to get certain things. Just an overall really good resource guide to kind of help steer you in the right direction. I consider it kind of like an encyclopedia of boudoir knowledge. Essentially, there's links to Pinterest guides, Pinterest boards to showcase certain styles, Pinterest guides for, just a shit ton of links, basically. I wonder if I can bring it up here. Hold on. I just downloaded it, so let me just pull it up for ya. I'm going to take you through this little thingy-majingy. Okay, so here we go. Turn this brush around. All right, so this is the cover, beautiful. And then, so you can see there's like a checklist. So as you go through, you can kind of check off the things that you've tried or done. exploring different styles. So it talks about the different kinds and where you can go to find information on the different styles. What's that there? So doing different ways that you could potentially offer makeup, so you can figure out what works best for you, different lingerie things, and showcasing the different types of photography styles that way. Lifestyle and fine art style of shooting. So it gives you kind of a guideline on different ways that you could potentially run your business, or the types of photography that you could do, so that way you could test it out and see which ones you like and which ones resonate with you. Different editing styles, experimental, just like experimenting things. My Shake Shit Up series is mentioned. Different lighting techniques. So it talks about the different types of lighting, the pros and cons of different lighting. Posing, different posing, depending where you want to shoot, if you shoot in a home, blah, blah, blah. Working through body image and all that good stuff. Business basics. So we have cost of doing business, helping you with pricing, goal setting, business licenses, insurance, like literally everything you need that's like not the unsexy stuff of running a boudoir business, I think, is in here. Clientele, kind of figuring out what you want to shoot, who you want to shoot, and going through the checklist that way. The step-by-step process of a client workflow. Gear and software, presets, storage solutions, CRMs, like literally links to everything, different album companies, offerings, client gifts, links to client gifts, marketing, different links on how to market. Let's see, so we're in the marketing, and you can see on the side here, there's different like sections to help you through it. So getting creative and all that good stuff. So yeah. So it's like a pretty robust resource guide of different links and things like that. And I made it pretty accessible because it's for people, ideally people that are at the beginning of their business. So, but those of us, like even I was like, oh fuck, I need like this cost of doing business was a good thing for me to have a link to. So it's $10. If you click the link, it'll take you to sign up for it, and then you can download it and have it forever. Partway through it, there is also like sheets for you to kind of reflect on what you've learned while you've tried out certain things, or so you can make notes about like what is resonating with you and help you get there quicker, if that makes sense, which I think is important. One of the things that I always said, if I could prevent people from going through a lot of the shit that I did, that would be great. All right. Anyways, where's the link? In the group, it is on my website. I'll put it up here again. If you go to terihoffer.com under education and resources and scroll down to foundational courses, it will be there, but I can put the direct link right here as well. Thank you. Oh, now you gotta hear me talk. Hold on, beep. But yeah, so Beth put that little beauty together, which I think is really awesome, because I am not that person, but I think it's necessary. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to get into it here now. It's funny because I was like, like when I talk about this, it's kind of like the advertisements at the beginning of a podcast, but I'm like, but it's my stuff, so it's interesting how that works. All right, so I'm going to bring on Susie, if I can find her here. Hopefully this will work. Add her, yeah. And we are going to get into our marketing or whatever the fuck she wants to talk about today. Susie. Wait for it. Hi, Susie.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Perfect. Okay, let me just make sure this is all good. It's funny because on my phone, it's like cuts me off like here, so all I see are my eyes. But on the computer, I can see that it's fully me, but more pixelated. Why does Facebook do this? I don't know. Okay, so if anybody's watching, it's going to be like super pixely. Just go with it. Okay, so Susie, thank you for coming on and wanting to do a live coaching. Are you excited?
I'm nervous.
So I will let everyone know Susie's kind of had a lot of me. She was one of the body image bootcamp facilitators from last year's group that came to Mexico with us, and then her and I also just recently did a coaching together. Like 2 weeks ago or a week ago? Um,
2 weeks, I think.
yeah, and basically right after that coaching, you like jumped right. Like I saw your stuff. You're like everything we talked about. It was like.
Yeah. I fell off the wagon today, but I'll get back up.
So, so the thing that happens with that is usually because it's really exciting to get going at the beginning. It's really important for us to think of it as a sustainable thing. That's like that post I just wrote today about sustainability as opposed to running a sprint. We have to think of it as a marathon. So
Right.
it's like, yeah, it's exciting right now. So that's actually when you feel that is when it's like, okay, talk to yourself and say, okay, but maybe we need to like spread this out. I don't have to do it all today. Like having that conversation when you recognize that, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's me 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've recognized
So,
that I need to breathe.
yes, good. That's good. Especially with like online or business, like we spend a lot of time online and it takes so much out of us that we don't realize that it is because we're like, well, I'm not engaging in anything. Like I'm not commenting. So obviously it's not, but our eyeballs are still taking in that information and processing everything. So it
Yes.
still is affecting us and taking from us, even though we don't think that it is because we're not actively participating, which almost makes it worse, to be honest, because then you don't see it coming.
Yes, very much so.
So what specifically did you want help with? I know in your like in the questionnaire that you filled out to do the coaching today, you said things like marketing, maybe business networking. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the more I thought about it, I think it's more branding so that I know who I am for marketing purposes. I kind of feel like I'm lost there.
Okay, cool. Good, because branding's more my thing than marketing's the end result of branding for me. Like branding is like the most important, and the important thing to know with branding is that it will change as you change all the time. So like I change my logo like once every 1 to 2 years, to be
Oh,
honest, because I'm like, oh, this doesn't fit anymore with who I am now or who my client is now.
right.
um yeah, so I think it's important to understand that whatever direction you choose to go in, to know that it is temporary, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is everyone saying not working for me?
Uh-oh.
Well, I can hear you, so that's all that matters. If it does cut out, I will be back. It's just my internet sometimes cuts out.
Okay.
So just an FYI. Yeah. So tell me what you're struggling with specifically in terms of branding. Like, what about your current brand is not sitting well with you, I guess?
Well, we touched a little bit on this in my coaching. I feel like I'm just pushing out images as opposed to like creating stories or telling stories or sharing experiences.
Mm-hmm. And is that working for you?
Yes and no. Like people are seeing my work, right? But I think they're not getting what my point is or what I'm trying to do.
All right. So what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to empower women. I mean,
Aren't we all?
yes.
So when you say that, what does that mean to you though? Like what in what way and how and why?
For me, I just want to see people heal, and see themselves the way, I mean, the outside world sees them.
And why is that important to you?
Man. It's important because it makes women stronger and so we can rule the world.
So usually in my experience, we end up getting into this job this genre for a very specific reason, and more often than not, it is to heal ourselves before healing others. So my question to you is, what in your life or currently is happening in your life, like it could have been in the past or somebody you know, it doesn't have to be you, that you see needs healing? What part in you needs healing?
Oh God. Well, quarantine really gave me time to reflect on a lot in life. And I realized that my lack of confidence comes a lot from my surroundings when I was a kid. And it wasn't even like my mom that talked negatively. It was a lot of my brothers, blonde jokes and things like that. And talking about like certain body types were hot and I wasn't that body type, so that hurt a lot, I guess.
So yeah, so is that kind of like what you want to bring out in your clients, is like basically yourself? For example, what I'm hearing you say is that you've been told this one story your whole life about a certain, like your body and your, you know, your hair makes, like your identity is very much defined by the way you look. And so what it sounds like, I assume you're wanting to do with your clients, is say it doesn't matter how you look, you can be all these other things.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
So have you ever shared your personal story with your people?
I've shared bits and pieces of it.
Is it
Not
on your
like,
about page?
no. I mean, there's little bits of it, but not like a full-on, full heart sharing.
Yeah. So it's really important to even go, I would even say go deeper than that, to say like, who are the clients that give you the most, like, this is why I do what I do, like you connect 100% with? Are they people that have a similar story to you?
Yes.
They're the ones that sit in front of the TV or the computer when they see their photos and they're like their mind is fucking blown because they've been told one story and now you're like, just kidding, this is actual truth.
Yes. That's exactly who. Yeah, that's my desire.
And did you have that same experience with somebody, like when you had photos taken, or like what was it that made you decide to use photography as your medium?
I've always had a passion for photography. It wasn't until I lived in Kentucky that I realized that this was a thing I could do. And I didn't know, you know, because I knew I couldn't be a wedding photographer because, you know, I'm not bossy or anything like that. But yeah, is that helpful?
Well, I don't know, is it?
Yeah,
Because the thing
probably.
is, I always tell people, because people are like, well, I just love to photograph women, or like, I just want to empower women. It's like, yeah, but why? Because the genre that we photograph is very specific. Like, it's not, as much as we're like, oh yeah, it's easier than shooting weddings, we have to sometimes be bossier in shooting boudoir because we're dealing with a lot of emotions in addition to the technical bits of posing and timelines and stuff like that.
That's true.
So, right? So like there's got to be an element of it for you that like resonates so deeply with you that it's like I have this superpower right now, which is my camera. And with my camera, I want to show you the actual you, not the you that other people have told you.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah. So right now, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, my first strength is connectedness, obviously. So that makes me very driven to like connect with clients.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but that brings it back to just like, you're taking it away from the personal piece for you. Look at, I can tell because your body language, you're squidgy right now.
Yes.
Because that means you're being vulnerable, which is good, which is what is needed. Like for the genre that here's the thing. you have been, you've branded yourself obviously enough to get clients in the door and stuff like that. So it's not that it's not working for your business side of things, but what it sounds like, it's not working for you, which means if it's not working for you, that means you need to get vulnerable to figure out why it's not working for you, in terms of where there's a disconnect, right? Especially
Yeah.
for some of this connectedness, which I think is really important. Christy, I'll answer your questions once I'm done with Susie. So if that goes away, just come back and share it again, okay? Because sometimes comments go away. But yeah, does that make sense though? Like I think what happens when we all start out with boudoir, it's like, yes, I just like to make people feel good. Do 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 do. And then as we get going along, some people are like, yes, this is like a great money-making machine, and they go that way, which is totally cool. There are other people that are very driven by their heart, like very heart-centric, and like really, really focused on change that sometimes comes not, and there's no monetary value attached to it. And that's totally fine as well. So I think it's important to straddle the line for both, which means like when I photograph clients, I obviously do a consultation. I tell them like, this is what you can expect, da 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 da. On my website, it's basically this is what you can expect from me. But also I know that maybe 75% of them just want sexy pictures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can
Yeah.
like get a little bit of work in there, but ultimately that other 25% is the ones that fill me up, like fill my heart. And those are the ones sometimes that I have to do things for free for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In order to fill up that part and know like this is where I want to go with it.
Yeah.
So my question to you would be, so right now, what are the things that you are doing where you feel this disconnect?
Hmm. Things I'm
In terms
doing.
of marketing specifically.
Um, well, I'm doing my Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all the normal things like Instagram, Facebook group. That's about
But
it.
like, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
I'm not talking a whole lot, to be honest.
Okay.
So maybe
Well,
that's,
which I know you and I talked about that is
yeah.
not necessarily like one of your favorite, not a strength for sure, is not like you're not like me and yip 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 all the time, and that's totally okay. But if you're going to be leading a community, even facilitating conversation is important, right? So that
Right.
means asking questions to get them to think deeper. Whether or not they answer, that's on them. You can like kind of, but at least then you're doing the work that says, hey, here's an interesting thought that I had, or here's a book that I read, or something I learned about Image Boot Camp or whatever.
Okay.
And then asking a question to get them to do the talking. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's really important that way. So I'm on your website right now, and I know we went through your website when we did your coaching last time. Did you change anything to it?
Not yet.
No, but your about page is good. I think we talked
Is
about
it?
that before, where
Okay.
you touch on I've struggled with body acceptance and confidence pretty much my whole entire life, which is good. Have you ever done a blog post? Oh wait, you mentioned something about YouTube videos.
Yeah. I've
Tell me
always
about
want.
that.
I don't know why. I don't have a good solid reason. I've just always wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I don't know what to do because I'm not a talker, right?
But you might be if you're on a YouTube channel. You never know what strengths you have hiding below,
That's
right?
true.
The thing is, like, just be like you saying I'm not a talker. You have made that your identity. Just like you probably used to say I'm not sexy because my brothers told me that, right? Your family told you that you're so quiet, you're so shy,
Yes.
da da da. So you have made that your story to say, oh, I can't talk because if I do, then I'll lose my identity. I'm the quiet one. What would happen if you weren't the quiet one anymore?
People would get to know me,
That sounds
right?
like a positive.
um, I well, the scary part for me is putting myself out there and being judged and I guess told I'm wrong.
So
You know?
here's the thing. Here's the thing that I always go into it with is the expectation that I will fuck up.
Yeah.
Like literally, even when I come on and do lives and I'm just like talking away, I fuck up and then I acknowledge that I fucked up. Like if I can go into it with this expectation that it's not going to be perfect. Okay, did you see the video I shared in the group of like one of my first YouTube videos I made?
Yes. I think I've watched it.
Yeah. So like it doesn't have to be perfect. There is no perfect. Like if you keep aiming for that, you're going to set yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah.
But if you want to be somebody that talks and shares stories, what is holding you back from that?
Fear.
Of?
But being judged.
By?
People.
What
Family,
people?
probably family if they saw, honestly, if we're going down there.
And we are going down there because you're going. You're taking it down
I
there.
know.
So tell me, what are you afraid of them judging you about? Because you're no longer fulfilling their expectation of quiet Susie?
Yeah, and being loud, and I have totally different views than my family, so I know that makes them incredibly uncomfortable.
Well, that's incredibly unfortunate for them.
Yes.
Like, why are they allowed to spout their opinion, but you can't?
I don't know.
Their way of making you feel like you can't, it sounds like to me, is by telling you that, oh, you just don't stir the pot, you're quiet. Like that to me is them like kind of making sure that you don't. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like them continuing to perpetuate that idea that now in your head you're like, well, I can't because of this. It's kind of when people are in a very shitty relationship and the person makes them think that nobody will love them.
Yeah.
Right? If they leave or do something else, like nobody will love you, they'll think you're stupid. That's basically what your family's been doing, it sounds like, to you. And now it's up to you to, who cares? Right? It sounds like your business and your happiness is on the line if you know what I mean?
Stay quiet.
Like, yeah. So like if let's consider two scenarios. If you continue to stay quiet, what will happen?
I won't grow as a person, and my business will probably not grow.
Okay.
And I won't make connections that are important to me.
But what will happen with your family?
I don't know.
They'll continue to be the assholes that they are?
Yes, that's true. Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So now let's flip it and let's say, okay, so now you start talking a little bit. Just about whatever you want. You can talk about puppies and rainbows. It doesn't fucking matter. Just talking.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you start talking, then what will happen?
I will put myself out there more.
And?
Probably end up being happier.
Yeah.
Most likely.
And then what will happen with your family?
They'll just be annoyed with me, and
they'll
that's
still
about
be
it.
assholes.
Yes.
Right? So in either case, they're assholes. So it does, like, do you see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
In either case, they might be louder assholes.
Yeah.
But that's
probably.
just because that's literally, but you know what? The other thing could be they may not be. They might finally recognize and start to respect you because you're standing up for yourself a little bit.
True. Yeah.
Like I remember for me, and even still I feel this way with my brother. He's older than me by like 2 years, but he also has very differing views from me.
Mm-hmm.
And he always used to pick on me and I was always the fat, quiet one, the good kid in the family. Like that was my identity.
Yeah, me too.
And then when I went to Korea and I started like martial arts and things like that, and him and my family came to visit, and all of a sudden I got him in the ring with me. And I kicked the shit out of him, and he like backed down like a whimpering puppy. And then after that, because I stood up for myself, because he didn't think that I would react differently than what he had previously expected.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Kelly says your family doesn't fill your cup or pay your bills.
That is true.
That's yes, ma'am.
Yes.
That is very true. But I think it is hard when it's family, but I think it's also important for you to understand, like, you've been respecting their boundaries, like they've decided for you what that looks like.
Yeah.
At what point do they have to start respecting yours? And as soon as you start saying like, this is who I am, they can either like it or leave it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because either way, I just always like with my brother, it literally is like, oh, he's still an asshole. He's just a louder asshole because now I'm,
Yes. Yeah,
you know
I
what
can
I
see
mean?
that happening. Yes.
Yeah. And that's when the best way to handle that kind of shit is just remain calm. It's unfortunate you feel that way.
I need to like tattoo that on my hand so I can see whatever.
But it literally is that. And there's nothing wrong with like it hurting you when they do say things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's also like, because we all have set vulnerabilities in certain areas of our life, right? Like that's the thing. We're all vulnerable and but usually those closest to us, like our families, know the chinks in the armor, so they know where to hit you so it'll hurt the most.
Yeah.
They're the ones that know that. So it's important for you to strengthen your resolve. And the more you do talk and the more you do show up for yourself, the easier it is to just stand there in confidence and kind of take it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just be like, that's your opinion. Thank you for that. And
Yes.
remember, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one.
Yes, they do.
Right? So
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So let's get back to talking about your YouTube channel. So you're gonna start a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you want to talk about? If you could talk about anything in the world for your clients, what do you want to talk about?
Well, when I first like got serious about thinking about it, I thought about doing like lingerie 101.
Oh, cool.
But I don't like that would be cool, but also I want to just share real life too. So,
Yeah. Like what?
Going through my own emotions and sharing my own journey and things like that.
I love that. That's fantastic. That means you really got to start talking.
I know. I gotta practice talking.
And that's the thing is, why don't, like, if you're not comfortable putting it on YouTube yet, just start recording. Nobody has to see them.
True.
But just start recording on your phone and share with your Facebook group. I'm assuming your brothers aren't in there.
No. No
right?
way. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So like just start recording, and once you get more comfortable and you realize the feedback isn't as bad as your mind tells you that it's going to be. Yeah. And in fact, I always think like people's stories are the things that, like, your story is the thing that people like. It won't matter about your price. It won't matter about, no offense, your skill. Not that your skill's good, but you know what I mean? Like that stuff doesn't matter to clients when all they know is like connectedness, loves this. When all they can do is connect to you.
Yeah.
Right? And I think doing a series like Casey's suggesting there would be fantastic. So maybe where you are studying a certain topic and you're working through something specific for yourself, you do weekly updates for people to say like, this is what I'm working through right now. And here are the steps that I'm taking, and you can follow me along as I'm working through this if you want. It's going to be honest, it's going to be raw. I'm probably going to fuck up, but that's okay. But I want you to be with me on that journey because that's part of being human.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, and I think that's the coolest thing that we can do as leaders for a community. And I know it's hard for a lot of people think in order to lead, you have to be like someone like me that's like, but the thing is, like, if you have a community, you're a leader. If you have a group, if you are living as a role model for people, you're a leader. You don't need a title. You don't need so I think it's important for you to understand that you are a leader for those women in your community and probably more people than you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And by you showing up in your truth and in your story and your authentic self, that gives permission to more people to be able to do the same thing, which is ultimately what I think we want for our clients.
Yeah.
But it has to start at the top. It's like any business, right? If you want your employees to behave a certain way, well, the CEO has to be acting that way first.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
True. Yep.
So what is your plan for your YouTube videos? What does the schedule look like? Or maybe not YouTube right now, we'll say Facebook
Facebook group
videos.
videos.
Yeah. One a week?
Yeah. Yeah.
You-
One a week.
Okay.
I'm gonna do one a week.
Yeah. About
I read
anything, even if you have nothing to talk about.
Just random.
And just be like, here's my brain thoughts today. Just
Okay.
noodling them out with y'all. Like I do. I come on here and I
Yeah.
just like, this is what I'm doing. Come watch me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like sometimes
Noodle.
I just feel like I want to talk to people.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that'll start giving you like confidence, because then you'll be taking action, right? I always say confidence is not an adjective. It's actually an adverb. You like
Right.
have to work, you have to move through it, not sit around and wait for it.
Yes.
So it'll start you to be like, okay, I can do this. I am doing this. It is happening. And therefore you'll have like content. And then when you're ready, you'll have those videos that you can upload to YouTube later if you desire. Like I do with these coachings end up on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right? You're
Yeah.
like, oh, good. See, this will be your first one. There you go. This will be your first YouTube. You can share it over to you. I'll give you a copy of it and you can share it to yours if you want.
That works. That's a good start.
Yeah. 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 Okay, cool. So YouTube videos are a good way to go, and that'll help. When I went back and looked at all my YouTube videos, I was like, oh, what was I? But a big part of it is really just, getting your message out as many ways that you possibly can.
Yeah.
I will say, if you are doing pre-recorded videos, make sure you have captions. Just as a side note, I don't know if you have an iPhone, it does it, I think, automatically, but.
Does it? I have an app to do it.
Oh,
See,
okay, yeah,
I already.
Yeah. But yeah, that's good. Just like I always like, that's one thing I hate about lives is that I can't do captions on them. But I can do it later. But yeah, so that's the only thing that I would say. But so okay, we got YouTube videos. What else do you want to do to help get your clients understanding more about you?
I guess I don't know. I have to be in more photos, to be honest. I know that.
Okay, more photo shoots. I like
Yeah.
that. Where you at? Maybe we can hook you up with some photographers here.
I'm in
You
North
guys can do
Dakota.
some trades. North
like
Dakota trades.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Well, that's okay. Everyone. So am I. You're fine.
Okay. Like you might be the closest to me, to be honest.
I was gonna say, yeah, but you can't come across the border, right?
I know. Dang it.
Yeah. Where do you live again in North Dakota?
Minot. So I'm 2 hours.
Oh yeah, Minot.
south of the
Yeah, it's
border.
like 2 hours from here, I think. Yeah,
well,
so.
it's like 6 to 8 hours.
Oh, am I thinking the other way? Oh,
Yeah.
no, I was thinking of what's the first city? Fargo? No.
Grand Forks.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a Target. That's all I know. That's as far as I get is to the Target. I'm like, we good.
Yes, well, we all love Target.
Okay, so if anybody's in North Dakota and wants to trade a shoot, come hook up with Miss Susie, and y'all can like make weekly meeting or like monthly meetings where you can all trade shoots. That could be a fun thing to do.
I'll try.
Or just take self-portraits. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Yes, I need to do self-portraits.
Yes, you do. I try to do them once a month because it's also a good way. Self-portraits are also just a good way for you to document your body.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like really important for people to understand that it's changing constantly, and if you can see it, then it's easier for your brain to process. So
accept it, yeah.
Yeah, but there is something to be said for getting photographed in front of somebody else.
I know, yes.
But like, what a great YouTube video that would make is like the whole process as you're like at night waiting to go to bed the night before the shoot, being like, what the fuck have I done? Oh my God, I'm so nervous, and like sharing the actual experience of it, right? Yeah, I think that's really powerful. That's why I try to get like a few photo shoots done a year to remember, because I forget until I'm like, and then with clients, I'm like, come on, get over it, you're fine. And then when it's my turn, I'm like, fuck.
Panic attack.
Yeah, you start apologizing for your body. You start like doing all these things. And like, I think it's really important for clients to understand that we also know what that's like, and because we do these things. So Yeah, so getting yourself in, I think for you, it is really just getting vulnerable and deciding what you want your current identity to be for you,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
right? Like
I would
peeling
agree
away
with that.
those layers of other people's bullshit to decide, like, no, who said I can't talk? Like,
Right,
who decided? It's just like we went through body image boot camp about body stuff. It's the same thing with us as people, like
right,
our like other talents and things like that, right?
right.
It's like, who said I can't do that? Who said I'm not able to talk about lingerie? Who said, like, who decided that for me? And then realizing that nobody,
Yeah.
right? You
Right.
you control you, and you don't owe your happiness to anyone else, especially like not even family.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important thing for people to understand.
Yeah, that's my block, I think.
Yeah. Is your family?
Yeah,
Just
or
always remember they're gonna be assholes either way. So,
yeah,
you
and I
know.
can't change them, so I need to
No.
remember that.
Well, and that's it. So my mom does this talk for business people, but it's either like, okay, like, because when managers are afraid of implementing like new rules or things like that for the betterment of the business,
Hmm.
they're like, well, what if the employees don't like that? And she's like, well, either they'll shape up or they'll ship out. Like, that's
Right,
the thing. And it's the same thing with family. It's the same thing with partners. Is like, once you decide that this is the road that I need to go down for me, and it's non-negotiable, this is what I
yeah,
know I need to do for me. And either you'll be on board with it or you won't. And that's the end of it. Like, it literally, if you can logically think of it like that, instead of like remove the emotional piece to it, and think of it like that and say they have a choice now. Like,
right.
I've chosen to be my best self, and this is what it looks like right now. And if that means that they're like, what, like, you should not do that, blah, like angry
Yes,
lasers coming out of their face, be like, well, that's your choice to feel that way.
right.
Like,
Yeah,
if they truly care and love you as a sister, which they might, then they will understand how important this is to you, and they'll get on board with it.
right.
They may not want to watch you talk about lingerie, but like, they won't be like, don't do that, why are you doing that, you know? If
Yeah,
they truly loved and cared about you, they would do that. They would be
yeah.
on board.
Support. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think it's really important for us to acknowledge that part of it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You don't owe your happiness to anyone, Susie.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Got
Yes, madam.
it.
Only yourself.
Right. Yes.
Never sacrifice yourself for someone else. There was actually a really good post I saw the other day about that. Oh shit, I gotta go find it now because it was really good and it will be beneficial to other people in here. But basically, it was something about teaching kids, especially girls, that they should. Oh, I think it was from that Glennon Doyle book that it
Oh,
came up a while back there. Somebody
yeah.
posted it about how to teach your kids to say, just because they said no doesn't mean you should say yes.
Yes. Yes. I think I saw that too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good. So, like, kind of think of it that way, is that, no, this is what I need to do for me, and either you're on board or you're not. You should not feel any shame about anything that you do. You're definitely not alone in any of this,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
There's a whole
So
group
I think,
dedicated.
yeah, so I think it's important to understand that if your family's the biggest block, is say they might be, like when I argue with my brother, it's that whole lid thing. When they come to you and say, you shouldn't do that, their knowledge of boudoir is at about a 2.
Yeah.
Your knowledge is at a 10. There's no way that they can see there because they're down here.
Right.
So
Yes.
you need to say, like, well, wouldn't you want, if you had the opportunity to, like, ask questions, get curious with them, to help, if you want to spend your energy doing that, and if not, just let it go.
Yeah.
But ultimately, yeah, I think if you start, like, it's funny because we were like marketing and branding, and then
I
we're
know.
like personal issues. But the thing is like, to me, that's the most important part of branding, is everyone's afraid to share certain things about themselves because they're afraid of what the response will be.
Yeah.
They're like, what will they think? What will my clients think if I share this part of myself? The fact that you think that means there's shame around something, and you need to work through that shame around that first. And because Brene Brown says, like, it can only exist in silence, right?
Yeah.
So if you share it, it gives permission for other people to say, me too. I also have felt that way. I also have experienced that. Together we can heal.
Yeah.
Right? So it's really important. We don't have to give all the gory details. We don't have to, like, give dates and times and names and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But we do have to say these things happened. This is what happened to me, and this is where I'm at in my life now to process it. And here's what I want to let you know as my clients.
Yeah. Okay. I can do that.
And even talking about this conversation you and I are having right now with your group, like maybe right after we're done here, pop into your group and be like, I realized that I have been hanging on to this identity that was determined by my brothers or like by my family, that I was always the quiet one. For me, I always say it's that I'm bad at math. Like that is my identity, and I let it get in my way. So I'm the only one that can be responsible for shifting it or changing that identity, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You could be Susie the talker.
That'll be something. Just wait for the next.
And because you like connection, maybe you'll start doing something like this with your clients where you invite them in to have a chat and then have a YouTube channel, like a talk show kind of thing. I used to have like my Tub Talks with Teri.
Yeah.
Yeah, your connection would love that shit.
Yeah. Yes, it's very excited right now about that idea.
But the other thing is, because one of your other questions was, I know we aren't really talking about it right now, but was networking with other businesses. Bring them in, talk to them about why they do what they do, right? You're very good at asking questions.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that way if you don't want to talk, then you just have to ask questions. People are more than happy to fill the air.
Yes,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if lingerie is something you want to talk about, go to a local lingerie boutique and be like, cool, I'm doing this YouTube series. I would love to bring a client into your store where we walk around. I'll interview you. You'll get something out of it. You can show how you fit for bras properly, whatever, like just something like, so it's like all the things together kind of combined.
We don't have a local lingerie boutique.
Fine, take them to Walmart. I don't know what you have there, but
nothing. No, I'm just kidding. I thought about opening
Target?
my own lingerie boutique because we don't have.
Well, there you go.
That's
See, even the journey of opening a lingerie boutique, dude.
That's true. Yeah, I could do that.
All sorts of stuff. But I think once you start like going, talking, doing, I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
And you'll realize that the fear is not. It's that, is it true? Is it really true?
Yes.
And the answer is like, you don't know how they'll react because you haven't given them a chance.
Right.
That's the other thing. We always are like, oh, they're going to be so mad if I do this. Ooh, they're going to not like me if I do this. And then it's like, yeah, but have you given them a chance to prove that? And the answer is usually no, because the fear gets in the way. So at least give them a chance to be an asshole. And then if they are, then you have like actual documentation, or like you actually have like knowledge to say, okay, I know how they'll react now. But right now you don't actually know how they'll react because you've never done this.
Right. I've never given the opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just assuming that they'll react badly, when in fact they might be like, wow, I'm so glad she finally fucking stood up for herself.
Maybe.
You never know. You never know. And I did a coaching with somebody else about that same thing. I think it was Kaylee. It was a similar thing. She was worried about what her family would think, what her dad would think, or whatever. And I was like, just talk about it. Yeah. Like, give them a chance to be an asshole. And then if they are, at least then you know, and then you can move forward. But if you're always like worried about what might happen and you don't know, you just won't act. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So act and let them be an asshole if they want to. Yeah.
Put that in big letters, act.
Just act. And the other thing is, if it really like is scary, like if you're like, because I don't have harmony, but I think, do you have harmony high? Is this right? I can't remember.
Hold on, I pulled it up just for this.
You had something where it was like you care about keeping the peace a little. Did
I
you?
feel like I do. Well, I feel like that's part of my personality for sure.
Yeah.
It logged me out.
That's good.
Back.
But if you do, or something like that, where you're concerned, like, well, I don't want to rock the boat, or I get that. I don't get it because I don't have that. I'm like, rock the fucking boat, it'll be fine. But if you have that, I think small steps are the best way to do it. But then keep literally asking yourself, okay, do I know for sure? Do I know for sure what their response will be? Even if it's like revolving around my clients will be upset if I say this thing. Do you know for sure?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, Amy says 9 times out of 10 in my life, that's how it happens. People react the opposite way of how I assume they will. And even if they react negatively, it's usually not as bad as I was building it up to be. Correct. Your brain is fantastic at telling you why you shouldn't do something.
Yeah.
So it's really important for you to fight back against it and say, no, here's the benefits of me doing it. Even if it means writing it out, like what I had you do. Okay, let's say you don't do it, what happens? Let's say you do it, what happens?
Yeah.
And if you are still very concerned about like, well, what if they do react? Come up with a contingency plan. If they react this way, here's what my action plan is. Because this is what I had to do when I went to the farm with my brother, right? Like during Black Lives Matter, I'm like, I'm not going to bring it up, but he might, probably, because that way. And if he does, here is how I will respond. So that way I don't get emotional, because he knows how to hit me where I get emotional very quickly and feel like a little kid again.
Yeah. Yes. That's
so right.
Yes,
Very
yes.
similar to you, I think.
Yes.
So I went in with a game plan that said, okay, if he reacts this way, then this is how I will react against his reaction. Which gave me confidence to be like, okay, oh, I prepared for this conversation. Excellent, here we go. Right? It's like, excellent. So I think that will help as well if you can prepare. Come up with the 2 scenarios. If they react positively, I will thank them for their support and be honest with them that I didn't think that they would, like, tell them. I honestly didn't know if they're positive, be like, I honestly didn't know how you would react or whatever. So I really appreciate you having my back. Or if they say, oh, why are you doing that? That's disgusting. I don't know what they say. But then you could say, listen, you don't need to understand why I do what I do, but you do need to respect why I do what I do.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all you need to say.
Right.
And then walk away.
Just toss my hair and walk the other
way. Yeah, I'd be like, good day, sir. Oh, my tip almost fell out of my shirt there. Sorry, guys. I'm not wearing a bra or pants. It's a good day. All right, Miss Susie, does that help a bit? Does that help kind of give you a bit more gumption to get moving?
I think so, yes.
All right, and remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint, so don't just like do it all at once. Just like make a plan and start executing a little bit at a time so you can keep being excited about a YouTube channel or keep being excited about talking and doing things. So just start, that's all, but don't like do it all right now.
Yeah. Don't do the big picture, work on the little pieces, right?
Yes, ma'am. Connectedness loves to be out here. You say, what's the first step I can take?
Yes, I'll do that.
You got it. See, you're looking for it. That's
good. Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your vulnerability and being open to like being on a live coaching. That's a little different than when we're obviously not on the live coaching. So I want to thank you for that a lot. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, obviously you can ask in the group, and there's a whole crew of support here for you. So that's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you, my lady. And I will talk to you later.
All right.
Bye. I'm kicking you out, but I'm going to stay live. Bye.
Okay.
All right. That was fun. Did everyone have a good time? All right. I have to go back and look at the comments here. Sorry, friends. Oh, we're going to mute me over here. Okay. Christy, I think you had a comment. Let's see. Oh, Christy, I got into it because of a sexual abuse experience I had when I was 18. Is that something I should share more? I have talked about it once or twice, but I don't know how often to bring it up. I think So, Chrissy, that's a great question. Without speaking to you directly and getting to the heart of it, I don't think you necessarily have to go into the details about it, but basically, if the outcome of that sexual abuse experience, which I'm sorry you experienced, that's really unfortunate. I want you to consider what you are trying to bring to your clients. So if you are trying to help them reclaim their sexuality or sexual power, if you are trying to help them own their body again after feeling like it was taken away from them, or like whatever the thing is that it's rooted in, that's what I would share about more of than the actual details. You can talk a little bit about after after a life experience that caused me to feel a certain way about myself or my body, whatever your particular thing is. Like, you don't have to give the details. I wouldn't say, unless you want to, unless you feel that it's healing and helpful, and will help other women feel comfortable and you feel that it's beneficial, then share as much as you want. But also, I know not everybody's comfortable sharing that kind of stuff, so you don't have to share it specifically. Just more allude to the fact that this is why I do what I do. Something happened to me where my body wasn't mine anymore, and I wanted to reclaim that, so boudoir photography was the way that I did that, or something along those lines. I hope that makes sense. Moon says it's highly personal for me as a way to express. It almost represents my sexuality. Yes, I can see that. Okay, look at all y'all, just super lovely. Y'all are great. Love it. I love it. Does anybody else have any questions about the same particular topic? Before I go, I have about 3 minutes before I'll pop off of here. But hopefully this was beneficial to other people. You can see when it comes, so when I do branding activity, like in my Be Your Brand book or anything like that, it's really about getting down to why specifically this genre of photography is important to you. Photography is only your medium, it's not your message, and your message is the thing that will bring your clients around. The ones that you love and connect with the most, because you will be honing in on your story, which will connect with their story in some capacity. And again, we forget that as photographers, we are the leaders for our clients. We are, and I know a lot of people don't like that word, but the thing is, we are at the helm of the ship, helping our clients, not necessarily being therapists, but just saying, I will hold space for you in whatever way that you're feeling, because I too have felt this way. Does that make sense? So I think it's important for us to acknowledge that and put that into our branding and make that part of our message. Your message is more important than your medium. One question that my mom asked me, or I asked, okay, I have some weird thoughts, and maybe you've heard this before, so just ignore me if you have. But I remember driving with my mom, and I was like, what would I do if I went blind? Right? And I was like, what? And then I realized that, and like, it was like, all I do is photography. Like, what would I do? And my mom was like, what would you do if you lost your eyesight? And I said, well, I would probably still talk about body image. I would still be a fat activist. I would still talk about inclusivity, and like, and then I was like, oh. And that's when I realized that it's not what I do, it's why I do it. Does that make sense? So you want to get to why you do what you do, and that will be the thing that helps you with your clients. And I think reading Simon Sinek Starts With Why is a great place to start. Watch his TED Talk or YouTube video, whatever it is. Starts With Why. If you type that in, you'll find it. It's really beneficial. Amy says, I love that. Never thought of it like that. I think I avoid telling my own story by hyper focusing on theirs. A lot of times it's easier for us to fix other people than ourselves. So that's why we say, well, I'm here to empower women. I'm the hero. When in fact, in our attempt to heal them, I think we're secretly trying to heal ourselves in some capacity. Otherwise, we could have done any type of photography. You know what I mean? You could have done portraits. You could have done newborns. You could have done anything. like any type of thing that you do, it usually resonates with why you do it. So getting to the heart of why you do it, which is sometimes scary because you have to dig deep into the icky bits of your life, because boudoir is a healing genre, is sometimes necessary if you want to. Jesus, my phone almost fell. If you want to go down the route of like healing through photography, if that makes sense. All right, well, it's 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here, so I'm gonna go because I've got some toast to eat. I tried to like scarf down my eggs bennies before I got on the call here, and then my cat was too, so in the bag. But thank you all for listening. And this will be up on my YouTube channel as well as obviously in the group here. If you want to check out other videos that have happened in here, if you're on a computer, they're over to the left. If you are on your phone, they should be up at the top. There should be a button that says videos, and that's where you'll find the old lives and stuff like that. Next week, let's see who we're talking to next week. What is happening next week? Is the 11th already? The fuck? Okay. We've got Miss Tara, and it is another business one. What's happening here? Ducks in a row. This might be a very similar topic, which I'm super excited about. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be a good one. Yes. So next week with Tara, we are going to be kind of getting through to her, talking about her a little bit, to help her narrow in on why she does what she does. So that'll be a good one. The following week after that is Miss Angela, where we are going to be working on similar content, brainstorming, branding, marketing, and imposter syndrome. Okay, imposter syndrome is like every day for the next this month. August, imposter syndrome August is what we're talking about. I love it. I don't love that you have it, but I love talking about it because it's such a thing, and I've been studying everything about this, so I'm excited to like put this into practice. Sorry, I got really excited. I'm not excited that you'll have imposter syndrome. I'm excited that we can help you through imposter syndrome. Okay, I'm gonna go. I love you lots. You know this to be true. And if you have any questions, obviously feel free to ask in the group. I shared a recent blog post that might be beneficial to some people, so go check that out. Again, if you're looking for courses, workshops, online workshops, things like that, head over to terihoffer.com under education and resources, and everything will be there, including some free shit, which you should download to get started for yourself. There's some free shit on the first page, and then I'll link up my website, terihoffer.com, and then under courses and education and resources, partway down there will be a free shit section as well, to get some more free stuff there. But in between that is all the other content and education that you can purchase. And I'm trying to make things a lot more accessible for people. So yeah, go do that. Get your learning on, my friends. Go learn the things, okay? All right. Thank you for listening, and I will probably see you tomorrow. Okay? All right. Love you lots. Bye.